This is organic goodness.
Aloha family, and welcome to the Felixes. As you can see, we are at the beach. So today we have covered the mental part. So, and you saw me pick a fruit at my friend's garden, which is like 5 acres of organic fruit. Actually pretty cool. So today I'm going to show you guys how we're going to take papaya. This is a beautiful papaya, and papaya, it's very common on the island. It's actually very good. It's great for breakfast, something light, or let's say like mid-lunch, or even dessert. I'd say dessert is actually pretty cool. Most people here on the island have it with lime. I like it with lemon. To me, just the acidity and the sweetness, it's actually really nice together. So I'm gonna show you guys. So every time we go hiking, I have this little special package. So the bag. We carry a little bag. We have a little knife and 2 spoons. So we carry these little utensils anytime we go hiking, because when we go hiking, we always find treasure, and the treasure is in the trees.
It is.
So the way we start with this at the beach, you see, you don't need no fancy tools. This little thing probably costs $1. Right in half. But the magical goodness of this fruit, it's all those beautiful seeds, believe it or not. That is a lot of nutrients in those seeds. Roll that back one moment. So these seeds, to me, are treasure to me. And I'm gonna show you how when we get back to the house. But I take this little bag and spoon, and you don't have to scrape it too hard. It's actually very easy. Zero effort. Thank you. Baby Felix loves papaya, by the way.
Yeah. Be careful with papaya.
Yes. So that's one side. Second side. And there you go. So then, at the beach, you don't need a plate. You don't even need a cup. All you need is a papaya. And then, we have this sexy citrus goodness right here. And sexy with food, it matches. It goes well. So, when I cut a lemon, people like doing it in wedges. I don't like doing it in wedges, and I'll tell you why. When you do it in wedges, when you press it, the insides come out. But if you cut it in a really weird shape, like that, like in a really weird angle, like this. So you see how that is? It's not a wedge, it's a little bit more off. So what happens is, my wife is such an awesome. When you squeeze, you see that back end? The back end has all the juices. So everything's coming out one side. So then, just like so. And if you have a fork is the key utensil to take out all the juice out of a lemon we're gonna show you that back at home as well. And then ladies and gentlemen, you have yourself a beautiful morning breakfast that's nutritious. It has a little sweet, a little acid, and it's organic. So good for the soul. This right here, they keep me going for a couple hours. Chris will be at the beach, running around, having fun. So ladies and gentlemen, and then, not done yet, when you're done taking some of this stuff off, you can actually take this home, but you're gonna see I'm gonna actually take the leftovers. There ain't gonna be no leftovers because Michelle's gonna tear that thing up.
I'm a fruit addict.
We're gonna take some of the insides and I'm gonna scrape it all really nice inside the bag. And then I'm gonna show you folks when we get to the house how we're gonna make a papaya seed dressing. An organic papaya seed dressing. Those are the goods. So it
Nothing to waste.
yeah, and then we'll tell you a little bit more about it. As we talk about nutrition, we used to actually own a health food restaurant before COVID happened, and our focus was all kinds of different diets: paleo, keto, Cornish diet. We focused on so many diets where we taught people how to build their dish from scratch. So it wasn't like a menu. We had like almost like a cafeteria type setting where you have like a humongous cold bar and a hot bar, and we had like, I believe it was like 16 hot items and like almost 40 cold items, so you can create your own dishes. So understand, nutrition, food is the primary key to physical wealth. Physical wealth starts with this, but also mental wealth with this. So everything that we're talking about comes in one beautiful full circle where you're feeding your mind, you're feeding your body. What you're feeding your mind and your body with, that is very imperative. And we will take you on that little journey. You'll be in the kitchen with me. I will teach you folks how to use a knife. That's number one, because if you look at my little pinkies, one's taller than the other because I cut one off. I will make sure that doesn't happen to you. So we'll also be talking about not say proper training and movement, well, training your mind to like wake up and actually do the work. Once you do the work, everything else comes natural. So on that note, we will see you at home, and we're gonna make this beautiful dressing, and then we're gonna put that beautiful dressing into something else. Okay? So we'll talk to you at the house. Aloha.
Aloha family, and welcome to the Felixes. Before we start, would you like to say anything before? Michelle today, she's gonna be our camera lady.
Yes, I am.
She's gonna be showing you folks what's happening in my hands and what I'm doing. Before we begin, if you can please subscribe and hit the little bell thingy-majiggy, that'd be magnificent. And here we go.
Yep. Welcome to Chef's Felix kitchen.
Our kitchen. Our kitchen. All right, so the way we're gonna begin, you're probably wondering about this little blue Band-Aid. No, it is not the new thing. It's not a fad or anything like that. Baby Felix and I had a little accident coming up from the beach, and unfortunate news, we lost the papaya seeds. So now we have to do everything from scratch. And before we head into the ingredients, we have to talk about the most important thing that in the kitchen, of course, that a chef should be talking about is the equipment. Equipment is very imperative. So today we're gonna demonstrate how to make a vegan papaya seed dressing. Michelle, she likes not too much. She's almost vegan, but she eats fish and all that other stuff. And sometimes she'll enjoy a nice steak with me, sometimes a couple slices. But today we are gonna make a vegan papaya seed dressing. It's our style of papaya seed dressing. And after I'm done with that papaya seed dressing, it's not gonna be vegan anymore because I'm gonna marinate some tri-tip, some beef tri-tip that we're gonna be showing you folks how to cook on by the ocean on our next episode, which is, when's our next episode? This is Friday, Sunday. So Sunday Fun Day, we are gonna talk about Mandela.
Yes.
So Nelson Mandela will be our featured guest at Sunday Fun Day. We're gonna be at the beach. We're gonna cook a little bit. We're gonna talk about the great man, Mr. Mandela, and we're gonna cook something healthy and show you folks. Because now we're in a segment. We started in the dark place of how depression in the mind and mental wealth. Now that we're out of that segment, we're heading into my personal fun segment, which is physical health and how nutrition how you can achieve both mental health, physical health. Let's say wealth, physical wealth and mental wealth, how they come together with food and energy. Food creates energy, and energy is what you do all day. So to start, you need two things to start. One is a snack. I love grapes, so I'll be eating grapes throughout this entire presentation. And then you need a drink. I have tea, so I like tea. So no, I do not drink alcohol. And those two things are imperative in the kitchen. So to start, we're gonna start with equipment. We talked about this in the beach. This is hands down probably one of the most important, so one of the most important pieces of equipment you'll need in the kitchen. We have a peeler, a small paring knife. There's a lot of sexier paring knife, and I will be saying sexy a lot. It's just a lot of things in the kitchen. That's how I describe food. It's sexy, nothing that has to. So, knife, and then the knife. Very important. I keep this razor blade samurai knife inside the wooden sleeve until we're ready. And then, a lot of people don't do this, but I have a cutting board mat. Very, very important, and I'm gonna tell you why. And I like wood cutting boards, but you can have plastic. We have plastic cutting boards as well. Anyone will work. Your cutting board, it's very important. Now we're gonna talk about ingredients, and after we talk ingredients, we're gonna talk about chef hacks. The chef hacks, basically little shortcuts that you can do in the kitchen. Cutting board, the mat, very, very important, and I'm gonna tell you why. If you look at my finger, one is actually, it's not, one's bigger than the other, and that's because I cut one pinky off. I don't want you folks to do that at home. So, a cutting board mat, or something, a wet towel. Sometimes people use that in the kitchen underneath. We like using, believe it or not, we have sanitation kitchen towels that I use. We're gonna talk about that in when we start talking about chef hacks. We'll show you guys how to save money in the kitchen using just things like this. So sometimes I'll wet this and put it underneath the cutting board so the cutting board doesn't slip around. All right, ingredients for today. For this dressing, most people do papaya seed dressing their own way. Now, folks, remember, when cooking anything, when you're following a recipe is a guideline. It's not set in stone. So remember, a recipe is a guideline, and some people, you might want it spicier than uncle or your sister, or your brother. You might want it a little bit more acidic or a little bit more salty. Whatever it is, you make recipes on your own basis. So recipes are just a guideline. Remember that. So here we go. So ingredients. Very, very important. All our ingredients are organic and they come from Mother Earth. So we have ginger. We have papaya. I feel really bad when me and Felix, I took a tumble and baby Felix came with me. Horrible day. We lost the seeds. Bad day for me. I really wanted to use those seeds, but as you saw over at our friend's house that has 5 acres of beautiful organic, I have to say some of the best fruit I've ever tasted, which is organic fruit. And we'll discuss that down the line, how organic fruit can be so very healthy for you. And then we have a red, and the reason I'm using a red onion is for the color, but also I'm gonna show you, we're gonna be pickling this, and that's what that is. That little smokiness going on back there, it's pickling. Camera, action. This pickling liquid. And in the pickling liquid, I like using some rice vinegar, some organic apple cider vinegar, and then I like taking, so for dried chilies, this is, where's this chili from?
It's actually, we use that for like Indian spices.
So it's, Michelle uses these dried chilies.
For curries, I use it.
Yeah, I should have researched it. I will have the answer in the next one, exactly what kind of chili it is. And so Michelle uses this. So what I do with these, I put them in the oven for a couple of seconds, probably like 2 or 3 minutes. I bring them back out and I put them in we have a little herb grinder. It's not herb, more like spice grinder. It's pretty much a coffee grinder, but we don't use it for coffee. We use it for things like this. And so in our pickling liquid back here, we have the 1 part each water, rice vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and then a little bit of this. And I also like using Hawaiian chilies, but fresh out, because Michelle actually made curry yesterday. Yum, yum. And that's gonna be in one of our segments. Michelle's gonna make curry. Is it curry or dal?
I'm gonna make dal. Yeah.
Dal? Okay. So, the ingredients. We have organic agave and organic Dijon mustard. Those are pretty much our ingredients in a nutshell. So now, chef hacks. So ginger, I'm only gonna be use what you need. We're gonna use probably a little bit less than this. So the best way to peel ginger so you don't butcher it with the knife, use a spoon. I love spoons. Spoons are amazing. So I'm just gonna take exactly what I need. And remember, this video is live, raw and uncut. Well, you'll see we're gonna go back and forth so Michelle can see. Getting up close?
Yeah.
All right. So this is all I'm using right here. So I'm gonna use that, and I'm actually gonna cut that right there. Alrighty. So always remember, keep your cutting board nice and clean, because like Mama said, cleanliness is godliness. All right, so we have our ginger. Now, in cutting ginger, it's very important. I cut it in half, and if you can see those little hairs right there, those little hairs, the fibers are not good. So if you wanted to floss, that's what you do it with. So since we're not doing any dental cleaning today, we're gonna actually cut those off. And to cut those off, when you cut ginger, you actually wanna cut this way. And I'm gonna show you around how thick. So if you can see that, I personally like getting the ginger nice and thin. Just like that. So what happens is, when we go to blend this, the fibers aren't getting into your teeth, or when you're having this dressing, it keeps it nice and all right. So normally I grab a plate, especially if I'm doing dressings, and since everything's gonna go inside our beautiful blender, which we're gonna be getting in soon, and I totally forgot equipment, a blender. A good quality blender is always great for making dressings. So as you can see,
Love the smell of ginger.
the smell of ginger is beautiful. So we put our ingredients, and our ingredients are gonna be around in a nice little circle. And step one, get the ginger. So step two, I have this. So when pickling, what I like to do when I pickle anything, I bring the liquid, not almost to like a roaring boil, and then you just stop, and then you'll see what we do next. So cutting an onion, I like taking off both sides. After I take off both sides, cut it straight in half. We have two halves. A chef, a friend of mine, he showed me how you can cut it. Don't cut it all the way to the end, and then you can actually just take the entire skin without putting your knife down. And that's one of the chef hacks, how not to put your knife down, and you can go really fast and cut 50 pounds of onions pretty quickly. But today, so beautiful red onions this way. So now the way I cut onions, I try to be surgical at everything I do. If you can see that, you see how an onion has lines. That's how I like cutting the onions personally. And you can cut it however you'd like. So I always start little at a time. So I cut a little piece, and then if you can see, I put it on the cutting board with the largest diameter, so it's actually nice and stable, so it doesn't flip around and you cut your fingers. No bueno. My eyes are starting to water a little bit, even though they're red. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna julienne. So now, believe it or not, these are all julienne. So you can see julienne onion. So now we're gonna take these onions, just like so, and we're gonna put them in this bowl. So some nice julienne onions, and then I'm gonna take the other half. And if you've never had pickled onions before, you have no idea what you're missing. And if you hate onions, you should absolutely try these because it just...
Because you don't like onions and you like this.
Yeah, I don't like raw onions, but when they're pickled, suffering succotash. It's just so good. Great flavor. And so here we go. We have julienne onions. And we're just gonna julienne half today because that's all we're gonna need. And then in the video, we'll go back and forth. So you'll see like how the cutting board is nice and clean. And Michelle is gonna show back and forth how we, once we edit the hand skills. Now in cutting onions, in cutting period, and this is, pardon my eyes, I am crying because it's such a beautiful moment. In cutting onions or cutting anything, I just want to give you guys a quick chef hack. When you look at your knife, this section right here, you can call that the pivot section. That section never leaves your cutting board. If you can do that, great. So when we cut, and we're gonna show you a quick, you want this to stay on the board, and then it's this motion with your fingers out of the way. This finger right here, the thumb, is more of, for now, till you get used to it, just keep it away. Understand, I'm left-handed. Every single finger has gone through a little surgery and it wasn't voluntary. So very important, using a knife, and make sure your knife is always super sharp. I'll say 90% of all knife cuts is because of a dull knife. Chef hack, we won't count them, but another chef hack. All right, so here we go. So we got our onions. Pickling liquid, nice and hot. So again, pickling liquid that I use 1 part rice vinegar, 1 part apple, 1 part purified water. Not purified water. Filtered water. And chili. So a little bit, so you get a little bit of, a little tinge of spiciness. So we put that. Ooh, and some roasted garlic would be nice in there as well. But we're making something super fast, super quick that even an 11-year-old can probably do if they're allowed in the kitchen. So here you go. So right now we have pickled onions, and you see, so immediately after this is put like this, I actually put this straight into the refrigerator. All right, so we have our pickled onions, and I like having, my fingers are a little sticky, so I'm gonna go ahead and all right, sanitation is amazing. So we have our ginger, we have our onion, and now the main character, the papaya. So papaya, just like we showed you at the beach, and I messed up already. So I cut it in half already. And what I like doing, since I'm not at the beach, is I'm gonna do this backwards. I should have been whole, and then I would actually peel. I would peel the skin, because I don't want to lose any of those sexy seeds. All right. So here we go. So almost pow. Pow means finished in, that's how the Hawaiians say finished, the Hawaiian word, P-A-U. P-A-U, thank you. All right. So you can see we have a beautifully peeled papaya.
Beautiful.
The skin, I normally don't use the skin. Just it's a little bit, but that can go back in the garden as
Yes.
as the goods. So the spoon, I love the spoon. So we have the spoon. So the main ingredient is the seeds. The seeds are life, treasure, definitely treasure. Okay, so papaya, I'm actually gonna be eating some of this later after the camera lights all go finished. But before I do, the best part of being in the kitchen is tasting your food.
Very true. It's always funny because after I cook, I'm full.
Yeah,
I haven't
true.
eaten yet, but after I'm done cooking, I'm full.
You'll notice, you'll see chefs, they come home and they're like, man, the wife would be like, why don't you eat something? You've been working all day. They just don't know that we've been eating all day, tasting all day long. So we are gonna take a couple pieces of papaya. We're gonna cube them up. I normally cube them up probably about that big. And we're gonna use a quarter. Well, this is half a papaya. So we're gonna use half of the papaya. So now we have papaya and seeds all together. And the other half of the papaya is gonna be my dessert this evening with a little bit of yogurt and dried fruit. That's gonna be another segment.
Yep, that's what we have for dessert. Fruit and yogurt.
Oh yeah. And grapes, hands down, my favorite treat in the kitchen. All right. So next up, so we have our ginger, we have our papaya, and we have our pickling liquid. Our pickling liquid is not cold yet, but it's gonna be okay because we're gonna make this dressing. And it's actually good that it's not cold because what I'm gonna do next, I am gonna make kebabs on the beach when we talk about Mandela. It's gonna be pretty cool. So this is tri-tip. I love the marbling, very, very nice beef. If you're not vegan, I might do something with tofu. We're gonna see. But we're definitely gonna do something with either, I have a friend of mine from Alaska who sent us some sockeye salmon. We might be using some of that and putting it on the hibachi or Hawaiian snapper. So here we go. The main event. Another chef hack. Always remember to check your blender. Put it upside down. You never know if something's in there. From self-experience, I had one of these in here and I was rushing and I'm running around the kitchen and I'm throwing stuff in there. I put it in, I turn it on, and I broke the blender. So always remember, upside down, safer than sorry. And sometimes there's things hanging in there that you might not want in there. So give this a good rinse, which we already did, but so you have your blender. blender top. What I like putting first, I like putting the naan, and I almost forgot another ingredient which is very, very important, which you can't do anything without. We like using avocado oil. Well, I like using avocado oil for these dressings. One, because it's nutritious and delicious. Two, the flavor. And three, I like actually using this when I do hibachi, just because the smoke point, and we'll talk about that down the line, the smoke point of this oil is pretty high, very high. So we'll be using this, this is the, we'll say fat. Fat is, so in culinary terms, we always talk about fat, acid, salt, umami, different flavors and all that great stuff. That is another chapter. So like putting in here first are the ingredients, which is the seeds. And you probably can't see this, so I'm gonna move a couple things around. Oh, Michelle has it on the, you're such a great camera lady.
I'm trying. I'm really not good at all.
All right, so we have that. We throw in the ginger. I lost one on the floor. Yes, I did. Bad daddy. All right, so that's in there. Then, instead of using the vinegar and all that, we have that ready in here with all the delicious pickled onions. I give it a taste. I like the acidity. Check for acidity. And another chef hack, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, anytime you're making a recipe or anytime you're cooking, you can always add, but you can never, ever take away. So your salt, your sugar, whatever you're putting in, put it little by little. And then always make sure that you have the mighty spoon. The spoon will save your life every time. Because the spoon, I normally have spoons all over the place. Normally I have a spoon here, and we'll talk about all that later. But a spoon, have a couple spoons somewhere in the kitchen where you can always taste as you go. Taste as you go. Remember, you can always add, but you can never, ever take away.
Very good point.
So we take our onions. I'm just gonna use that much because the rest is for my fruit salad. Yes, you pickled onions with fruit, forget about it. It's a different world.
That is very true.
And if it's too acidic, you want to take a little bit of agave and put it in your pickled onions. And then you have the sweet, the spicy, the acidity. Beautiful thing, beautiful thing. So now I put in the acid. And as you will find out, I do not look at recipes. I do look at recipes, but my mind, 28 years doing this awesome, great stuff, it just does its thing. So then I think about it. So now I take a little chili. I like using fresh chili, but today Michelle had these from making her curry. She had a couple of these laying around, and she got her chilies from, is it Auntie brought it from South Africa? Those chilies?
I think so, yeah.
So we had family bring a lot of cooking stuff from South Africa.
Yeah, all the spices are from
and
South Africa.
the spices that Michelle uses to make her curry are all from South Africa. All right, so everything's in here. Always go through if you're using a recipe, go through your recipe and just make sure. So again, acid, your fruit, your seeds, the pickled onion, the ginger, and then a little bit of that pickling juice. That is the good stuff. Some people you can at the end. I like sometimes adding. So if I'm gonna use this for fish or anything like that, at the end you can go ahead and add a little bit of chopped dill or anything like that. Dill, thyme, not rosemary, but whatever you like. So that's the great thing about cooking. So it's gonna be a little bit loud in here. Always remember before turning on your blender, especially if it's as powerful as this one, this is a commercial grade blender. Always make sure it's at its lowest setting, because if not, and make sure the lid is on, because if not, you're gonna have a fruity face. Yes, you are. All right.
Here it goes.
So I always start nice and low. Oh dear. So folks,
We have
I forgot the mustard. This guy. Forgot the mustard. So, like I said, live and uncut. Here we go. So we add the mustard, just a little tingy bit. About that much. And when I'm in the kitchen, I clean my hands like 18 billion times. The agave, I add the agave at the end. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Close to the end.
oh wow.
I go about this slow. Remember, you can always add, but you never take away. So at this point, so basically, when you're making a dressing at home,
I'm excited.
it's all about an emulsification. And emulsification starts with acid and a fat, and when it comes together, it actually comes together. So imagine a lot of molecules coming together, and they just start binding and just having a party, and just, it's a beautiful thing.
Smells good.
Thank you, love. So, taste number one, saffron succotash. That is so good. The spicy, the sweet, the acidity, everything is good. One thing is missing though. Salt. So also, the best salt, we use Hawaiian salt, and we take Hawaiian sea salt and we actually put it in the coffee grinder and we get it to my specifications, not too powdery or anything like that. So a little bit of salt. Don't really need pepper. A lot of people, they'll probably like a little bit of black pepper in there. But let's put a little black pepper in there, why not? So, another chef hack. What I do with my black pepper, I actually take, thank you. I take my black pepper, whole peppercorns, I put them on a little sheet pan, and then I put them in the oven for exactly around 3 to 4 minutes at 350. And what that does is you get the black pepper is a different flavor. It smells like some of the oils come out, and then put it in here. And you see, I don't put too much just because I like it fresh. Actually, I think that's good enough. And then to mix, we put this on. The emulsification came out nicely, as you can see.
Creamy and smooth, right?
Creamy and smooth.
It's like peanut butter.
Oh, that's too thick. So as you can see, very nice. I myself would love some aromatics in there, but we're all fresh out of aromatic. When I got the boo-boo, all I wanted to do was come home and lay down. But now, like I said, you can, I'm sorry, some of those, that good stuff is going. So, cheers. So then, immediately from here, we have this beautiful steak. It's not seasoned yet. Normally, I like putting I would put it inside. How is it?
Oh, wow.
I'd put the steak in some of these, full just like this. Or if I was gonna dice them, I'm actually gonna dice them later. But it's gonna be, today is Friday.
No.
Yes.
It is? Oh, yeah. I can't keep track of the time.
So today is Friday, and then tomorrow, so by Sunday, this should be all beautiful and good to go. And if not Sunday, we might, so here we go. So right now, it's still warm. And what I'm gonna do is, I take this and I actually let my steak sit out for around 25 minutes or so, or 30 minutes to take the chill off. And then the steak, it actually soaks up all this goodness. And then I actually season day of, like the salt and the pepper day of. So here you go. This is for the non-vegans, of course, because it's beef. And then we take the rest of this delicious goodness and we're gonna put it,
Pickled onion.
we're gonna put it inside a regular bowl.
Ooh, that looks so good.
And if you folks know any chefs at home or any chefs in your neighborhood, you must know the chefs never like to waste anything. I don't like to waste anything. So I go and take all this stuff. I remember one time I was working at a very high-end resort, and I was doing my apprenticeship with this master chef. His name Master Chef Hiroshi Noguchi. Great chef out in Florida. And he made me wear one of these all day. And it wasn't small, it was actually pretty big because I wasted. And I never waste after that day ever again. So here we go, folks. We made our papaya seed dressing out of the treasure that most people would actually throw away. And for Wednesday and Thursday, I'm gonna find some cool ways that you can use this dressing. I don't know how yet, but I know there'll probably be some fish involved, maybe some veggies for the vegans, or maybe even some ginger crusted tofu, since we have a little bit more ginger. Yeah, why not?
I think that's a good idea.
A lot of people don't like tofu. So
I love tofu.
on a segment, I think Wednesday or Thursday, we will take some tofu for the vegans, dedicate that for the vegans and the plant-based folks. So that's it for this segment. Thank you for joining us at the beach and in this journey. We are so fortunate to be going to do this journey with you folks. I know the beginning, mental health is not everybody's favorite subject, and but now physical health, I think that's a lot of people's favorite subject, because people just like to eat, just like I like to eat.
Yeah.
And
It's always good to learn.
yes, so thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to this. Is one of my most favorite segments, is being in the kitchen and making a big mess. And my beautiful wife.
We'll have to clean.
That is the greatest thing about being the chef in the kitchen and having someone enjoy the fruits of your labor. They have to work a little bit.
I guess.
And so please subscribe, hit the little bell thingy-majiggy over there. And again, thank you for joining us on this journey. We truly appreciate everyone that has subscribed, and thank you. We really appreciate it. Again, I sound like a broken record, and it's because I'm hungry and I can't think clearly right now. So until next time, folks.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. We are the Felixes. Baby Felix is taking a nap. And we will see you folks on Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday Fun Day. We are talking about Nelson Mandela quotes and scriptures. We have some really cool a film of I was riding with the club, and you're gonna see how I'm a road guard, by the way, and that's another segment. Road marshal in some parts of the world, and I keep my people safe.
He does.
So until next time, we will see you folks on Sunday. I can't wait. Sunday Fun Day. We're gonna be cooking something and talking about another favorite human being of mine, Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, you will.